Welcome to week 8. I cannot believe that we are ending our time together. Where does time go? This week, you are reflecting on your learning for the past 7 weeks, and you're also going to be wrapping up your final project. In week 7, you were to create a phonics word study lesson plan. You're going to take that lesson plan and put it on the MVNU lesson plan form. This lesson plan and your analysis paper will be submitted to Chalk and Wire. This is the reason for the official form. So you're just going to expand on what you did in week 7. If you have questions about using this form, please email me. Here are the directions of how to submit to Anthology Portfolio, which formerly was known as Chalk and Wire. Okay, this week, your initial forum post, which is due by Wednesday, no later than 11:59 p.m., is the reflection. You're going to use this opportunity to reflect upon your learning and share your reflections with your fellow students by answering the following questions, and there are 3 of them. What areas of learning have been significant for you in this course? What aspects of this course would you change, and why? Were you able to function effectively as a self-directed learner in this course? Why or why not? Responding to the reflections of your fellow learners is optional this week. Also, at the end of the course, you will receive an end-of-course survey. Please take 5 minutes to fill this survey out. This gives us an opportunity when we revise courses to really listen to your input. So that will come after the end of the class. This is the slot to submit your lab timesheet that you've been keeping. Next, we are on to the final project. For your final project, you're going to be using the student that you selected for your phonics lab. You're going to be looking at everything you've done with that student in weeks 1 through 7. You have already administered the spelling inventory and completed the feature guide. You did that in week 1 or 2. You're going to need that. You've also collected developmentally appropriate assessments from your student. If you were working with a first grader, you were to have given the letter ID assessment, hearing and recording sounds and words, a running record, the San Diego Quick Assessment of Word Reading, and also collecting writing samples. Those are going to be discussed and included. Second and third grade, hearing and recording sounds and words, running records, San Diego Quick Assessment of Word Reading, and writing samples. If you worked with a 4th or 5th grader, you're going to have running records, San Diego Quick Assessment of Word Reading, and writing samples. Now, starting back in week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, we were administering all of these assessments and scoring them. So that scoring part is done. You've analyzed that data because you created that phonics word study lesson plan in week 7. You're going to need to create a chart or a graph of some kind that includes all of this data that you can use to explain the results to parents. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It just needs to be something that you have organized the information in and you could easily use with a parent. So you're going to analyze your findings in a paper, and you're going to use our classwork to support it. For example, what does that child have under control? Is there anything almost under control? What is a definite challenge? What teaching would benefit the student? You have already identified a word feature lesson plan that the student would benefit from. You did that in week 7. You're just going to put that lesson plan on the official Mount Vernon template. Yes, you're going to have to add some additional information to the MVNU template because that form, that template needs to be complete. So you will need to add additional information to complete all of the areas on the template. Your paper should be written in APA style. It should include a title page. An abstract is not necessary. You need 2 references incorporated into the paper. Artifacts such as the writing samples, the spelling assessments, the running records, the hearing and recording sounds and words. They should be included at the end of your paper in a clearly ordered appendix. Some things to think about also as you are writing your paper. What are the students' literacy strengths and needs as it relates to phonics and word study? Observations and literacy learning behaviors of the student. Learning from the student artifacts that were collected and included. What important literacy interactions did you have with the student? What changes did the student make over your tutoring sessions? Summarize your learning. Was there new thinking from observing this student? Have you grown professionally through this experience? And any additional information that you would like to include. Okay, now we are on to the lesson plan. You created a lesson in week 7. You're going to take that lesson and you're going to expand on it. When you put it onto the MVNU template, the lesson plan needs to be detailed. If I were to come into your classroom to substitute, would I be able to understand and teach that plan well? The lesson plan should reference formative and summative assessment. Your formative assessment comes from your artifacts and the analysis. The lesson plan should include a list of materials you would use. if you're going to use technology or not. The lesson plan should include a detailed description of your hook. How are you going to pull that group or that child in? And then you're going to have step-by-step procedures. What will you do to bring closure to your lesson? You're going to need to include differentiated instructional strategies. What about a student that is below where the lesson plan is? What are you going to do for that child? Or for a child that is above? So make sure you differentiate. You have that section where you include all of your references. And there is a rubric that will guide you. The rubric includes the paper and lesson plan. So please be sure that you are using this rubric. Because if you're using it, you're going to do well on this final project. If you have questions about that, please ask me. Again, everything is in APA style. You need at least 2 references in your paper. The lesson plan is to be detailed. List materials for the lesson and technology, and then you're going to submit it to Chalk and Wire. The rubric that I included in this video is found here. Please ask me. Enjoyed the class as much as I have, and hopefully I will have some of you again. Thank you.